Okay, so I have 3 pieces. I'm not sure how much time is like protocol. That's what I was told, was to do like 10 minutes worth, but if it gets tired, I can stop after 2. So this first one's an essay. It's called Something to Give. And that's in the anthology. And I did make some kind of big changes to it tonight. So if you pick that up, just notice that there's some differences. Okay, something to give. Lately, I've been making lists about things I'm grateful for. It's a good practice. Every night, 10 things. So one night, I went to yoga, and on the top of my list for the day was, I am grateful I have an able body. And that seemed like a genuine enough thing to be grateful for. I enjoyed yoga, and I knew that my capacity to enjoy it would be limited if I were physically disabled. But after sharing this gratitude with a friend whose back was permanently injured from a car accident, I reconsidered. I stood in the shower the next morning and didn't feel blessed. I felt like a jerk. Is saying I'm grateful to have an able body akin somehow to saying something like, I'm grateful that I'm white? Certainly our culture does privilege able bodies and white people. When we consider what we're grateful for, is it a way of relishing in our unearned advantages? Some things I'm grateful for have more to do with me and my skills and personality. I'm grateful I have a job I enjoy. I'm grateful I have good friends. But when we thank whatever or whomever we thank for our blessings in life, is it right to include the aspects of our identity that oppress others? That doesn't feel very gracious to me. In our culture, we normalize able bodies to such an extent that it seems acceptable to use differently able bodies as shadow selves. Well, thank God I don't have it that bad. Wow, I really admire that disabled person for their willpower and determination. I don't think I could live how they live. But what can we possibly know how good or bad someone with, say, cerebral palsy has it? We can't measure suffering. That person we are using to make ourselves feel good or grateful may have a fabulous life beyond our understanding. This is complicated by the fact that I have a chronic illness myself, which is not readily visible or apparent, otherwise known as an invisible disability. So my life can sometimes be pretty rough too, even though I am not physically disabled. But would I give it up if I could? If I could go back in time to the limbo souls inhabit before choosing their body on this planet, would I request a different vessel? Can we even separate the soul from the body though? Who I am and what my soul is all bound up with my invisible disability and my queerness and my whiteness for that matter. Is my soul also bound up with my physically capable body, awkward dancer aside? The fact that I can go on hikes, do downward-facing dog. I am grateful for these things, but I don't have to put it in the frame of, oh, thank God I'm not physically disabled. I'm so glad I have an able body. So on the same token, is it okay to say, I'm so glad I have an economic safety net in my family? I am, but where does it get me to count this as a blessing? Is it right to say, I'm so glad that I am more likely to be interviewed and hired on jobs because of my skin color? Is it acceptable to say, I'm so glad that I don't have to worry about elevators at BART being broken because as an able-bodied person, I can climb the stairs? Is it okay to say, I'm so glad that strangers don't ask me invasive medical questions about my body because of a visible disability? Gratitude to me implies some degree of humility, a sort of awe-filled reverence for gifts that have been bestowed upon us. Privilege is not a gift. It is an obligation to give back. Gift means poison in German, the language of some of my ancestors. The more exceptionally privileged, the more seeping the poison. I think what cures this affliction is awareness and a willingness to share one's gift with others. So, first step, consciousness. I can involve myself with the supportive community of the disabled and identify myself as part of it without denying my advantages. Likewise, I can learn more about what it means to be a true white ally and live by these lessons. So I am grateful for my privileges. I am grateful I have something to learn. And by means of this education, I may someday have something to give. Thank you. Okay, I'll do something a little bit more upbeat. This is in gratitude for the striking down of Prop 8 in the Defense of Marriage Act. Can I get a round of applause for that? Okay, cool. and gum. I prefer coveralls to cover girl. I know my way around a computer and a carburetor. I've shaved my head on more than one occasion. But let's be clear, my partner Holly is not helpless. Butch and femme doesn't mean the helper and the helpless. She's a computer genius herself, and somewhere along the way learned how to drywall. She's also a comic book aficionado, which is undoubtedly a boys club. And yet, she can rock high heels and fist-sized earrings. And I am not the only one who likes to talk. Publicly, there appears to be no doubt about who wears the pants, but privately, it's a frequent, intimate exchange, which is part of what makes our sex so hot. So in the planning for our big day, she started murmuring about wanting a tailored tux for both of us. They're a hot new thing right now. Ding dong, Doma's dead, and every lesbian I know wants to suit up. At first I was thrilled, but then I started thinking about the marketing of our day. And let's face it, it is about marketing. And realized that we'd be buying 2 little dudes for our wedding cake, and what would our bridespeople be? Maids? Men of honor? There are so many gender battles to fight in a wedding. Maybe it's all the Buffy I've watched, but when I suit up to fight, I'd rather do it in a dress. But I couldn't have Holly be forever memorialized in the tux and me alone in the taffeta. We were on the couch flipping through gay wedding magazines. It's great, it's a subversive reversal of I'm the butch and you're the femme, she said. Come on, it's so obvious that we're playing with our gender. But you see, I'm not so simple either. I've got a thing for lace panties and toenail polish. The feminist side of me, I keep hidden for intimate occasions, and a wedding is the private made public. I decided I wanted to share my intricacy with the world. I don't think that's what I want, babe, I said. So ultimately, we decided to go twinsies for the wedding. Everything matched, right down to our turquoise taffeta underskirts and white satin sashes. We wore silver sequin Doc Martens, knee-high. The bridespeople wore houndstooth vests and crowns, lipstick, leotards, and bow ties. But we straight up glammed up, 2 fierce femme peas in a pod, double your refreshment, 2 disco balls spinning in sync, and me with a fierce false goatee affixed with spirit gum. I'll be damned if weddings are going to replace pride and protest as the way queer people party. If we're going to be part of the machine, let's at least put some glitter and gum in the gears. Thank you.